Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and every week I take a look at the real estate market in Central Florida, specifically the Villages. For those who don't know, the Villages is a 55 plus community. We have championship golf courses, executive golf courses, live entertainment at 4 different locations every night of the week, including holidays. There is entertainment, recreation, shopping, dining, and as many social clubs as you have time to join. If you're a buyer and you're trying to find a good deal in the Villages, or you're a seller and you're trying to maximize your return in a reasonable period of time, please reach out to me at davidisinflorida@gmail.com or davidisinflorida.com. Regarding this show, if you want to know what long term trends are on prices, price per square foot, what the differences are between the different regions of the villages, where homes are selling, if you want to get a perspective on the villages, this is the show for you. We're going to look at long term charts, we're going to look at current data, and we're going to look at the differences between the regions of the villages. Everything is fresh as of today, the 21st of October 2024. We get this information every Monday and produce the show based on this information. A couple of things to note. First, the Villages has two distinct marketplaces, the VLS and the MLS. The MLS is the same listing marketplace that you're used to from other areas of the country, the multiple listing service, but the Villages also has their own internal system, the VLS. This is the only marketplace on which you'll find new homes, but pre-owned homes are listed both on MLS and on VLS. If you only have a VLS broker, you will not be seeing any MLS properties for sale. Give me a call if you're interested in looking at VLS and MLS properties. I will see if I can help you. We produce this show every week. Make sure you check the date to ensure you're getting the most recent information. And if you find the information valuable, please consider liking or subscribing to the channel. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at either davidisinflorida.com or davidisinflorida@gmail.com. And once again, if you're a buyer trying to find a good deal, I think you'll find that our data driven approach will give you the confidence that you're getting a good deal. And if you're a seller, I hope you find our data driven approach will give you the confidence that the asking price you've chosen is the correct one. So, with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening this week. We start every week by taking a look at what's happening with interest rates. We think that ultimately financed assets are going to be affected by interest rates. And looking at this graph, the distressing thing to note is that the low that you see in September is when the Fed reduced the overnight rate by 50 basis points, and the mortgage rate is now significantly higher than it was when the Fed cut rates, ironically. So I'm going to start by orienting you as to where the Villages is. For those who don't know, the Villages is in Central Florida. We're about an hour north of Orlando and about 45 minutes south of Ocala. The maps you're looking at are showing you all active listings on the MLS, and we're going to zoom in on the Villages. Every dot that you see on the map represents an active listing on the MLS. The size of the dot represents the size of the home. There are 5 different sizes of dot, and the color of the dot represents its price per square foot. There are also 5 levels of color here. The darker the circle, the lower per square foot, and the brighter the circle, the more expensive per square foot. As we zoom in on Lake Sumter, I'm going to switch back and forth here between price per square foot, which we've been looking at, and price. And you can see as we switch back and forth between these two views that looking at data on a price per square foot basis can give you a good start on finding a good deal. Let's start by taking a look at all listings. This week, 523, which is a new high. Last week, 512, which was also a new high. A year ago, it was only 311. Currently, the lowest priced home on the MLS in the Villages is 159,000, which is the same as its original price. It's been on the market 52 days. Most expensive home, 2,899,000, originally 2,950, and that home has been on the market 105 days. Here we're looking at the median time on the market for all listings, which this week has edged up again to 61 days. Last week, the median time on the market was only 60 days, and a year ago, it was only 41 days. I have pointed this out before, but please make note of the fact that this year, the time on the market is not coming down from 60 days as it has in years past. This is the chart most people seem to focus on. It's the median list price per square foot for all listings on the MLS. This week, 258.02. Last week, 258.65. Same week a year ago was 263.61. We are barely above the lowest price per square foot that we've seen here in quite some time. I've divided the villages up into 4 geographic areas so that we can compare prices and other metrics between them. The first is the area that I'm calling the North. This is everything south of 42 and north of 466. This week there are 240 active listings. Last week, 229. The second area is the area I'm calling the Middle North. This is everything south of 466 and north of 466A. This week, 147 active listings. Last week, 148. Once again, these maps are showing you size and price per square foot. The larger the circle, the larger the home. The darker the circle, the lower per square foot. The third area I'm calling the Mid-South. This is everything south of 466A and north of 44. This week, 71 active listings. Last week, 70. And finally, we come to the area that I'm calling the South. This week, there are 65 active listings. Last week, there was 66. And this area is everything south of Highway 44. I'm going to run through this data very quickly to give you an idea as to the differences between the regions. First, let's look at the villages as a whole. This week, 523 active listings, smallest 672 square feet, largest 3,934 square feet. Per foot in the villages ranging from 145 to 776, and the median priced home in the villages this week, $399,000. This is the north, most active area in the villages on the MLS by far. This week, 240 active listings, ranging in size from 672 to 2687 square feet. Per foot in the north, ranging from 145 to 395, and prices in the north ranging from 159,000 to 825,000 this week. This is the mid-north, the area between 466 and 466A, 147 active listings, smallest 1,090 square feet, largest 2,489, most expensive $1,003,000, least expensive $269, and per foot ranging from 208 to 675. This is the Mid-South, 71 active listings this week. Sizes range from 1,156 square feet to 3,934. Prices from 280,000 to just under 2.9 million, and price per square foot ranging from 216 to 776. And the South, 65 active listings this week, ranging in size from 961 square feet to 3,260 square feet. Prices ranging from 255,000 to 1,275,000, and per foot ranging from 223 to 536. So before we move on from listings, let me show you where they are located. This map is showing you the 7 listings that are under 200,000 of the villages. There is nothing for sale currently under 100,000. Here you're looking at a map showing you the listings between 200 and 400,000. There are 265 of them. The $400,000 to $600,000 range, 185 properties offered. These are the 39 properties between 600 and 800,000. These are the 15 between 800,000 and a million. And finally, these are the 15 homes currently for sale on the MLS priced at over $1 million. The maps you've been looking at have been showing you size and price per square foot. I don't mean to belabor the point, but this is our last comparison. We're looking here at the price per square foot and how it varies based on the price of the home. So you're looking at homes under 200,000, 2 to 400,000, 4 to 6, etc. And you can see that, for example, in the million plus price range, the least expensive home is $350 a square foot, and the most expensive $776, with the median price per square foot for the homes that are over $1 million, 502. For homes between $200,000 and $400,000, the median price is $249, least expensive $150 a foot, and most expensive $340 a foot. This is a graph that we think is illuminating. It shows how many properties are entering and leaving the market every week, entering as new listings and leaving as going pending. Last week, 51 new listings and 37 homes went pending. Previous week, 23 new listings and 29 homes went pending. Last year, the same week, 27 new listings and 33 homes went pending. Last week and last year both saw more pending sales than new listings. This week, that is not the case. And the previous chart gives rise to this summary, which is just the difference between new listings and homes going pending. Last week, 14 more listings than went pending. The previous week, 6 more listings went pending than were listed. And the same week a year ago, there were 6 more homes going pending than being listed. This was a very worrying graph last week because homes that had gone pending were forced to offer a reduction of over 6.5%. This week, the median price change for the homes going pending was only a 5% reduction. As I said last week, a 6.64% reduction. And the same week last year saw almost an identical reduction of 4.99%. Another data point giving some encouragement to sellers. We saw the median price per square foot on the homes that went pending last week of 259.77, which was dramatically improved from the 236.91 of the previous week, but we are still lower than the 261.86 at which homes were going pending the same week a year ago. So now we'll look at sales. Last week was obviously a bit of a recovery from the previous week when we had a hurricane blow through. But last week we saw 26 homes close. Previous week, storm affected, saw only 10. The same week a year ago saw 27. It is interesting to note that even if sales were delayed from last week to this week, the number of sales is not higher than the same week a year ago. For the homes that closed last week, prices ranged from 230, which was originally 310, which after only 13 days on the market saw a reduction of 26%. The highest priced home closing last week was 715, originally 775. That was only on the market for 5 days and that was a 16% discount. This is showing us the trend for price per square foot for the homes closing. Last week, 241 a foot. The previous week, 235 a foot. The same week a year ago was identical at 241 a foot. Homes closing a year ago were selling for exactly the same median price as last week. Yeah, we're keeping track of seasonality. We're looking at sales per week for every week of the year. The red line is 2024, the green line is 2023, and the blue line is 2022. You can see a nice recovery in the number of sales from 10 to 26 last week, but 26 is still lower than the 27 sales that we experienced in 2023. And although it is higher than the 18 sales that took place the same week in 2022. And the increase in sales has really helped this graph, which is showing us weeks of inventory. It's inventory divided by sales. This week, it's 20.1 weeks of inventory. Last week, 51. Keep in mind that the number of sales increased from 10 per week to 26 per week because of the storm, one assumes. But still, the 20.1 weeks is still almost twice as long as the weeks of inventory that we had the same week a year ago. So now let's look at all listings once again, and here we're looking at what percentage have reduced their asking price from the original list price. Not much change this week. 52.01% have reduced their price from the original list price. Previous week, 52.15% had, and the same week a year ago, 52.09% had. And this is the percentage of decrease. This week, the median decrease is a 4% reduction from the original list price for all listings on the MLS. The previous week, 3.8% was the median decrease, and 4% is identical to the 4% median reduction that was in effect the same week a year ago. If you're a buyer or considering buying in the villages, please consider reaching out to me, DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to show you how our data-driven approach can help you find a deal or reassure you that a property that you're considering is properly priced. Similarly, if you're a seller, we can help you ascertain the highest reasonable asking price for your home. If you're looking to buy or sell in the villages, please consider reaching out to me. And even if you're just trying to find information on the villages in general, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida davidisinflorida@gmail.com or davidisinflorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions about life in the villages or real estate in the villages. Hope to hear from you. Take care.